Hey guys, welcome back to the Advanced Animation Academy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jerome. I'm a senior animator, game developer, and animation mentor. And I run the Advanced Animation Academy in order to help animators grow and develop in their skills, whether they're new animators or professional animators that want to level up in their career. That's the whole purpose and why I'm here. So what we're going to be talking about today is we've got another 5-minute review. For those of you who don't know what a 5-minute review is, it's where I simply get an animation that has been made by somebody in the animation community, they send it to me, and I review it within a time limit of 5 minutes. So without further ado, let's jump into the next section and begin episode 2 of the 5-minute reviews. I'll see you there. Alright guys, welcome to the review section of the animation. What we've got here is this really cool gymnastic animation by NASA, and I think you've done a pretty cool job. And one thing that I like that you've done, and I need to mention this, is that you've given me some information beforehand. So before I started reviewing this, you let me know that these animations are actually in Blocking Plus. And the reason that's very important is because when you're sending an animation to be reviewed, it's very important that you let the person that's going to be reviewing your work know what stage that the animation is at. The reason that this is important because if you told me that this was in splining pass, there's going to be a bunch of polish notes that I would give you that are going to be counterproductive based on the current stage that you are at in the animation. So now that I know this, I can then tailor my feedback to help you get to where I can see you're trying to get to much more effectively. So that's why it's super important. Alright, cool. So let's play this animation for you and examine it a couple of times before I give my general thoughts on it. Okay. I like what we have going on here. Let's watch it one more time. Alright, because I've only given myself 5 minutes, there's probably going to be something that I'm going to miss, but I'm going to address the main thing. So let's start the timer and let's begin. Alright, cool. So when I'm looking at this animation, the main thing that I'm seeing, or the main thing that I'm feeling needs to be added, is one word: exaggeration. Because if you exaggerate some of these poses, especially some of the main actions, you're going to be able to achieve a really fantastic result. So let me go over to here, for example. So when you got this pose here, because what's happening is that she's about to go into the jump, what would be really nice is that if you go from like this pose here at frame 109 to 114, you have a really nice squash pose, or basically what would be an anticipation for a jump. So let me draw what that would look like for you. So basically all that you would do is that you would lower the hips to be somewhere around about there. It would be nice if I drew a better circle. So lower the hips to be about here. And then you're going to grab this leg. You're going to keep it basically exactly as it is in terms of the shape. So you're going to leave that like that. And then this one, you're going to have it bent down lower like that and basically get into a really nice crouch. The reason that you're going to do that is because what you're doing is you're compressing the silhouette. And when you compress the silhouette and then basically have something that's going to be basically a drastic change in silhouette, you create visual appeal. And doing so is going to create for a more convincing animation. So if you had something like this, like starting off like that, and then you go into this, and then you can even change this a little bit by basically angling the foot to be facing this way. So what's happened is that she'll basically pivot off of this foot like this. So if I do that, probably help if I draw it in the same color actually. So let's try that for a start. So like rotating the foot outwards 90 degrees. And then you can have this leg be bent here like that. So that's your knee. And then go into your hips here like that. And what you're essentially doing, wrong color. What you're essentially doing is creating a nice line of action. So then you can go from here into your spine. That's the chest. Then you go into here, into your head, and then you can keep the arms basically exactly the same. I wouldn't change the arms much at all. So you can keep the arms be the same here, like that. And then as for the other arm, you can just, wrong color. You can grab that. And I probably have that arm still dangled down. And then for this leg here, I would probably do the same thing that you've got where it comes across like that really nicely. It's really cool because what this does, it creates a nice line of action going in that direction. And the reason why that's important is because it's going to help you exaggerate the power of the jump. So you can go for something like that and you spring into this action here, it's more straight up and basically more angled towards where the direction that she's going. It's going to create for a more convincing jump. That part's all cool. I guess the only other thing I would say as well is that you could make this first part a bit more interesting. And the reason you could, sorry, the way you can make it more interesting is by changing the action at the beginning. Because right now she kind of falls into the running, which is nice because, you know, like it gradually falls into this running stance, and then, you know, you start going for the run. If that's something you want to stick with, then what I would advise that you do, rather than just having a, like this foot basically stay here, this foot is going to need to come forward in order to catch her weight. Because if you're going to fall forward like that, the foot is going to have to come forward here to capture her weight. Because if you're going to do that, you're going to basically limit the amount of power that you can generate from pushing off of this back foot. And the reason why you want to generate power is because what you're going to be doing, you're going to essentially be accelerating. And you're not going to be able to accelerate if your feet are directly underneath you like that, because you're just not going to be able to basically move your hips over the top of them and then be able to compress the legs and then spring off of them. That's why it's very important that you basically change the pose here. The other advice that I was going to give you was basically to change the action and go for basically her like kind of bouncing on the spot and then quickly go into a dash and then go into the run, because I think that'd be really interesting as well. But for the sake of keeping the idea of your animation, because I think it's important to preserve the idea because it's really cool. Let's go back to the previous frame. We had that in red and we go over here. What I'm essentially saying to do is add a more striking pose, a more visually interesting pose. So you have something like that going on there. So let's say that's her front leg, and then obviously that's going to be her hips. And then grab this leg here. What you're going to have here is you're going to have this back leg kind of like that, really pushing off. And then you're going to go into here for the spine, push off there like that. Say that's the chest, give her a bigger head. And then you're just going to go here with the arms. You could probably even have this arm be backwards like that. And then have this one basically be coming forward, or however it's going to look. Actually, I should do it the other way around. I did that wrong. I don't have much time left, so let's just go there really quickly. And then this one, I would just, yeah, bring that back. All right, cool. So I'm basically out of time. So what I'm going to do, I'm at least going to finish the drawing so you can actually get an idea of what it is I'm talking about. So let me get rid of that really quickly, redraw this, and then I'll recap basically my thoughts, because yeah, our 5 minutes are up. All right, cool. So basically what I'm saying to you to do is, if you was to grab this arm here, bring that one forward like that, and then bring this one back like that. What you're going to be doing is you're creating a more visually interesting pose. So what that's going to allow you to do is to just create a more interesting animation. And the reason you're able to do that is just simply because you're exaggerating key poses. So from the very beginning, like I said, I would basically, rather than have her lean into the fall like that, I would have her kind of step into the fall. And then what that would ultimately mean is like where she's like, should be standing up just normally. I'm actually going to draw over this because I know it's over 5 minutes, but I need to get this point home for you. So yeah, if you just draw over this really quickly, just say she's standing like this. Just say she's standing like that. And then by the time you get to here, what you really want to do is you want to have like this leg be up here, like, you know, about to lift up and step. And then this one can be down here like that. Yeah, it can be down here like that. And then what you're really doing is you're actually driving the foot into the ground here, and then you're allowing that to basically work as a spring step so that you can put all of your weight on this front foot here, and that is going to allow you to have the basically power to accelerate off and go into this really cool pose like that. And that's going to just make the animation feel a lot better, because you're going to start off with a nice slow contrast, and then you're going to spring into a very fast run. And then obviously, because it's in blocking, I'm not going to really comment on that. Then the main thing to focus on from there would be just basically the anticipation for the jump, really have her squash down and really have her spring up, creating a nice convincing line of action where she can throw herself over the top. And that's basically all I have for this 5 minute review. I could go into a lot more detail, but one, I would need more time, and two, you're only in blocking plus, so there's only so much information I can give you, because I could go into details such as making the hands feel nice. I could go into details such as you have it at some point here, where is it? Here, where you've got like a broken ankle here. Those are things that I'm not really going to pay so much attention to, only because you're only in blocking at the moment. One thing I will say though, just quickly, is that when you've got a pose like this as well, just make sure that your character's balanced as well, because right now, with the hips being over like this, you might have a hard time keeping the character balanced. You might probably want to have the foot be somewhere over here, and then more like that. I know that it doesn't create as much as an interesting silhouette, but it's going to keep your character balanced, and it's really going to help basically the shot overall, just the overall body mechanics of the shot. So yeah, I'd heavily advise that you check that out as well. Make sure that the character is always balanced throughout the entire animation, or there's enough momentum to justify the shift in weight. So yeah, that's what I would say. And that's basically all I have for this 5-minute review. So yeah, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get more videos like this, because YouTube, the algorithm will recommend videos for you like this, and also it lets me know that these are the kind of videos that you're interested in, and therefore I can make more. But that's all I have for this 5-minute review. You've done a great animation, Nazar. Although it's in Blocking Plus, there's a lot to be taken from here. I just realized you have your reference here as well. So let's take a look. Okay, so I see that you've more or less copied the reference one for one, which is completely fine. But then one thing I want you to notice as well is that look at the power that you feel when she jumps. Like, you can really feel the power. But notice that in her run, she doesn't bend down so far. But in animation, this is why we have the principle of exaggeration. So yeah, just go through, look at the major key poses, the major key actions, and look at how you can exaggerate them. And then obviously once you're later on in the animation, you want to start working on things like making sure that the arms are follow through and overlapping in a nice and organic way. But that's for another video. That's all I have for this one. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, send me your videos, guys. I can't wait to review some. And that wraps up another 5-minute review. I think Nazar, you produced a really cool animation. Even though it's in blocking stage, the potential for it is right there. And I hope that with my feedback, you can go on to produce an even greater animation than you would have otherwise. If you would like your animation reviewed, just like I've done for Nazar, then all you need to do is hit me up via DM on Twitter, or email me at info@advancedanimationacademy.com. Let me know your name, and let me know that you'd like it submitted for a 5-minute review, and then you can be featured on the next episode, or at least one of the episodes. So yeah, just send that my way, and yeah, I'll be happy to review it for you. And if you're an animator that is looking to improve their skills, I want you to know that I have online courses that are designed to help you do just that. I have courses that go from the very basics of animation to advanced creature animation as well. I also have an animation mentorship for those that want to level up their skills in a very particular way, or need a dedicated and tailored service. So with all that in mind, don't hesitate. Jump on the links below and reach out to the Advanced Animation Academy. We're here to help you. And until next time, take care.